Welcome back to another exciting episode of I'm Not Going to Swear Today, Wednesday, or the Neville Goddard podcast. My name is Mr. 2020. And today Andre asks us, what exactly is a Feel It Real session? How do you do a Feel It Real session? And we're going to nail this in a new way. I love exploring and nailing this in new ways. We're going to give you some resources. We're going to make some suggestions as usual. But I want you to notice that there's a pattern here. It basically has to do with notice, predetermine, and relax. Allow yourself to get fully immersed into only your wish fulfilled and then enacting it. It's a cool little formula. This is not the way we usually share it, but it's always what happens behind the scenes. So you notice a desire. Where does it come from? Wow. Wouldn't that be cool? Predetermine, relax into. What would you hear? What would you see? What's the one thing that would imply if it were already true? Allow yourself to fully, the only direction that you're going in, again, is the experience of that. Allow yourself to become fully immersed into it, and so you can enact it effectively. There's a short version of the answer. We're going to explore it in all kind of cool ways in just a moment. Have a lovely day. See you inside. All right, so first of all, I want to give a shout out to my friend Andre because I really, gosh darn it, golly gee, today's No Swearing Wednesday. I really appreciate your hunger and reaching out to me today. So let's dive in. Ready? What exactly is a Feel It Real session? What is a Feel It Real session? This is a question I get a lot. There's a couple different ways I answer it. I've got a few different articles. We always send people to the 7 little videos at easymanifestingmethods.com so they can get this in different ways. But a Feel It Real session, it's sort of like asking, what is Thanksgiving dinner like? There's a lot to it, and yet it's very simple. Let's start with something really simple. So, Neville Goddard says, when you sit down and you predetermine what you want to hear and listen until you hear it, and refuse to hear anything other than that, then you are using the one power in the world that awakens a man, and you are using your lovely imagination, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Let's start there. Because as we explore feeling it real, what's really important is to notice when you have a desire, that's the moment you surrender to it. I also do formal sessions every day. I do my Joseph Goddard before I get out of bed every morning. That's something I suggest everybody do, but we're not going to dive into that in this recording. But we've got Joseph Goddard to the max for that, for those who want to dive in there. But I want you to get in the habit of the moment you notice a desire, that's when you surrender to its fulfillment. And you surrender to its fulfillment by simply allowing yourself to just feel a little sleepy yet still focused. I'm going to give you a great example of this in a moment. I want you to feel a little sleepy yet still focused. And like Neville says, you can sit down. You can close your eyes. And you can hear what you would hear if your wish were fulfilled. Now notice I'm spiraling around this a little bit, sort of like the Thanksgiving dinner table, because I'm a massive fan of thanks and giving. So here's how it works for me. Before I get out of bed, I knew I couldn't resist it. Gosh darn it, I am going to talk about Joseph Goddard. Before I get out of bed, I imagine 5 to 12, 6 to 10 specific events of my day already having gone my way. So, Andre, you played your part, right? I imagined up having done a killer podcast where I had a lot of fun and blessed a lot of people, got your emails back, all that good shit, right? So before I get out of bed in the morning, one of the things that I imagine was getting emails. Great podcast, 20, getting comments on the YouTubes. Just my experience of getting feedback that I made a difference in someone's life. That was my imaginal act. How would I feel? What would I experience? What would I hear? You know, like I'm reading your email going, 20, thanks, man, that was great. What would I hear, even if it's internal hearing? What would I experience? So I predetermined what I would experience if I made a crusher podcast. So notice the first part. I've got this vague desire for a Crushing It podcast. My second bit, I predetermine. What am I going to hear? What am I going to see? What am I going to see on the computer screen? Great job, 20. Thanks, man. Love ya. Boom. That kind of thing is what I see, I hear. That implies I had a Crushing It podcast. I stay on target with it because I don't allow anything to come in that would have me sidetracked as far as, hey, what if I did a TikTok? Or, hey, I could always do something different besides no, I don't do that. I stay targeted on having had made a great podcast. Yeah, I've got this guy, I call him Uncle Joe, right? Keeps me on target. He's the director, right? And meanwhile, I enact it. I really enact it. I experience. What would I experience? Remember, the first thing is you feel a desire. The second thing is you predetermine what you would experience. The third thing is I choose, I feel myself targeted. And the fourth thing is I enact it. I really enact it. I experience your feedbacks. And here's what happens. From the time I leave the house to come out to the portable disposable hot tub, you send me an email saying, hey, 20, I'm doing one of the prosperity pack and an MM lesson every day. Let me ask real quick, what exactly is a session? And here we go. A session is that little slice of time. It only takes a few moments, might take a few seconds, where you just notice you have a desire. You predetermine what you would hear, what you would see, what you would experience in a GIF kind of moment. Just one little tiny slice of time, not a movie. And you allow yourself to surrender to it, and you direct your consciousness so that the only thing on your mind right now for the next moment or two, however long it takes, and it shouldn't take long, is your experience of what implies your wish has been fulfilled, what would follow it. And this is a biggie because I think we cover this in lesson 3 of easymanifestingmethods.com. A lot of people, they don't imagine what implies. And this is where this is really important, because single people say, hey, how do I imagine being happily married? I've never been married. And have you had people happy for you? I said, yeah. Well, so imagine people happy for you. What would you experience if people were happy for you being happily married? It's sort of like eating at a new restaurant. You know what it's like to eat a meal that you're satisfied with, that you enjoyed tremendously. We're going to a new place called Melissa's. And I've already imagined having had a great meal, walking out going, whoa, that was good and that was a lot of food. That's how we do it. So, notice when you have a desire, or when a desire shows up, take a moment, sit down, take a breath, close your eyes, but predetermine what you would hear, predetermine what you would experience if your wish were fulfilled. Allow yourself to get totally targeted from that, on that, through that, to the point where you enact it inwardly, like how I experience, wow, your email. Thanks, man. I'm glad you appreciated the podcast. Boom. Or, when I get orders, same thing. People listen to the podcast, they order cool shit. That's feedback for me. I enjoy that. So if you got gold today, make sure you sign up for easymanifestingmethods.com. Those little freebies, you get one of those videos every day. If you ever miss one, let me know. I'll get it to you. No biggie. I want you to soar with this stuff. Number 2, Joseph Goddard to the max. This is how I run my day. This is how... What we've done is we've noticed people will do the silliest things, like they will make brainwave recordings that last 2, 3, 4 hours, and they'll try to meditate for hours and make long movies about their wish, staying surrendered to it. And that ain't what Neville taught. Neville taught you can move in the twinkle of an eye. And so we teach the Joseph Goddard protocol, Joseph Goddard method, where we explore exactly how I move into 5 to 10, 6 to 12 wishes. Yeah, I nail those before I get out of bed in the morning. Right? And I don't spend hours in bed. I'm up at 5. Right? Everything stirs. I know my wishes. I do my crunches. I'm out of bed. That's where we play, gang. You'll notice, too, attitude. That's the other side of the coin. So today we dove into the actions to take. Again, notice your desire. Feel a little sleepy. Predetermine what you would hear. Close your eyes. And so on. Have a lovely day. My name is Mr. 2020. And this is... what exactly is how to do a Feel It Real session. See ya.